Hi guys, AJ here from the non-profit Facebook group known as Saving Your Ears. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to all the key workers, all the NHS staff, medical professionals around the country that are doing a fantastic job on helping us combat this horrible virus. Now I thought I'd geek out a little bit and try to explain how 3D printing works. Now many of you have never heard of this technology and are unfamiliar and don't understand how you can print something in 3D. So these are the clips that I'm producing to save your guys' ears. As you can see, it's a physical object. It's not a piece of paper as you would traditionally get out of a traditional printer. It is made of a type of plastic called PI. You can get different types of plastic. As you can see, these 3D printers can print all sorts, like this model here, this little sheet with a unicorn horn. You can do virtually anything. You use a modelling software on the PC and feed it into the printers themselves, which create the object. Now, how it works is very simple. A piece of plastic looks very similar to wire. This is what they call filament. This comes on spools or rolls, like so. As you can see here, this feeds through to the printer. Now this depends on the type of printer, but this one feeds to an extruder, which then feeds through a tube down to the hot end. The hot end is roughly 200 degrees Celsius, so it's quite hot. And what that does is accurately deposit a piece of plastic where it needs to be on top of each layer. So if you can imagine a traditional printer that's printing out a piece of paper, let's say you had this object or this outline on that piece of paper. You take that piece of paper, you put it back in the printer and you print again. Now obviously this ain't going to work, but imagine every time you reprint over that object with more ink, it gets taller and taller and taller. Now this is essentially how 3D printing works. So as you can see here, it is printing one layer and it will come back and it will print over the next layer. It will come back and print over the next layer. It will come back and print over the next layer and so forth until the model is completed. As you can see, it's got a print head similar to a traditional printer, and the actual build plate on the bottom, that can rise up and down, or the carriage goes up and down depending on the type of printer. And every time it finishes a layer, it will move, that build plate moves slightly, allows more room for more plastic to be deposited on top of each other until you get the completed model. That, guys, is the basics on how a 3D printer works and how the technology is. I hope this helps, and thank you for doing such a wonderful job. Bye-bye.